we're going to look at putting some images. I can't actually go through and show you everything there is to show you in Bootstrap, so I'm showing you the highlights for now, and I'll add things to it as we go, but you need to really explore these docs and the examples that they give you. But one of the big things that really helps when you have these things changing sizes is that your images also need to change sizes. So Bootstrap provides for that using responsive images. And it's as easy as using the tag image.fluid. Remember, everything is done with a class. So we apply the class image.fluid, and it applies max width, basically, to everything, to the image that you put it in, so that it can never be bigger than its parent. Okay, so it will scale it down to the parent width. So let's actually do that. I have an image, and it's quite a large image, and I did that on purpose. Remember, you really want a size for the biggest image you're going to be using, but not bigger than you need. So in my folders, here's my index file. I have my JavaScript folder, my CSS folder. I created an images folder, and in that images folder, I copied this image that I want to use on my website. It is a chart that helps people pick their D&D class. It's kind of fun to look at. Basically asks you questions about your personality and tells you what class you should play in D&D. So it's a large file, as you can see. It's a pretty big image, and we're going to embed that on our web page. So let's go do that. The file name is dndclass.jpg. I'll need to know that. Let's go over here, and I'm going to put that in my second column. So I'm going to replace where it says column 2, and I'm going to put in my image. I can do img, and there's my Emmet abbreviation. Isn't that great? Source equals, and that quickly, I forgot what I called it. It's dnd something. dndclass.jpg. So my source, it's in my images folder. I have to hit slash, and I guess I really didn't need to look at the name, because look, autocomplete went in my images folder and told me there's dndclass.jpg. That's an image. It's the only one we have in there. If I had multiples, I could pick. Alt equals, I'll just use the letters D and D for the alt abbreviation. Okay, now I'm going to save this just the way it is. I've added this image into my second column. Let's go look at the preview now. And look what happens here. There's my second column. It starts here, ends here. But this is flowing out into the third column. When I go down to the small size, it's massive. It doesn't actually fit on my screen. It's getting cut off over here on the right side. I can expand it out that way, but I couldn't do that on a phone, right? So I'm losing part of my image. It's taking up way too much space. It's flowing out of its containers. And the easy fix for that is to come in here, and I'm just going to apply a class. So I'm going to say class equals img-fluid. So this is the fluid image class. Oops. What I get for not touch typing. I was looking at my keyboard. img-fluid. I'm going to save it, and it's a lot easier. As I started typing that, it actually went to my Bootstrap CSS file and found the class as I was typing it. I could have used autocomplete. All right, let's go back to our preview. It was all messed up, and refresh it, and now it shrunk my image to actually fit the size of the column that it had. So it said don't be any wider than this column gives you, and it set the height to auto. And now as I change my screen size, you can see that my image scales even when I get down to mobile site, where the columns start stacking on each other. It still only uses the width. It doesn't get cut off. And it scales to my screen sizes as I scale up. and I never lose the image entirely. So you can use fluid images inside your grid system so that they adjust to the widths. Here's another cool trick, and you can use this class on more than just images, but I'll show you this one on an image. Let's go back over here to my code. I applied image fluid. I want to also apply another class. I want to do rounded, and notice I have rounded 0, 1, 2, 3. I can just do bottoms. I can do circle. I can do pill. So let's just do rounded first. And come over here, and we don't see it too much. The rounded, let's try rounded 3. There we can see the corners got rounded a little bit. Do rounded 1. There you see it's even less. I want to go back to just rounded. I'm not sure why I didn't see it with that. Maybe I didn't hit save properly. Nope, I guess those are rounded. They're not rounded very much. But you can round it to different degrees. Let's do rounded dash circle. Probably not appropriate for this one. Refresh it. So there's rounded with a circle. It really rounds the edges a lot. Rounded dash do pill. And that's a little more like a capsule looking rounding. Rounded too much for this image, but it might work cool on one of your other images. But rounding can be applied to a lot of different things, not just images. I just thought I'd throw that in here as a bonus.